Hi, and welcome back to the Dev channel. So I'm joined today by Harvey Sparkes again. I thought I'd talk about a little article that came across my desk earlier in the week. It was about an independent bit of research done on whether or not AI tools are actually accelerating developers. And the results weren't exactly too pleasing if you're AI, let's put it that way. I think the sort of baseline figures were that developers expected a 24% sort of increase in productivity. The research found out that it was about 20, but the delays caused by using these tools actually ended up removing any value in using these from an acceleration perspective. So I thought it'd be worth having a quick chat with Harvey just to sort of get his take, see how that is in the real world, so to speak. Harvey.
Hey, yeah, so I thought it'd be important to consider these AI tools are definitely, leveling up engineers, especially, augmenting themselves with, better tooling, and the tooling's evolving on a week by week basis. But it's important to consider the fact that when you're generating, masses of code, you're still going to have to review them. And there's probably going to be a process of where they're going to have to fit into style guides, or tweaks for specific to a project, or even, just outright bugs, because they're still not perfect, especially if they're not guided in the correct way. With that as well, I think perhaps skill level and maturity using these tools has a part to play as well. Whereas, perhaps maybe a more seasoned senior developer is probably going to be using this a little bit more sparingly, or maybe much more targeted to the need in hand, rather than going straight to agent mode and going, make me the world. They're probably, going, I need this feature. I know how to do it. Can you make me this loop to do this? Or something like that. Do you see what I mean? So I think in those instances, you're probably going to get the speed increases. But, it really depends on context, in my opinion.
So I think that was quite a key bit that came out of this article. They really honed in on sort of the complexities of projects. So the larger the project, the more experience that the individual developer has had with that project, that code base. And some code bases are huge. So these LLMs, they're having to learn each time that they're sort of interacting with this very large code base. And that's probably, I'm guessing, where that capability then starts to, offset the speed at which people do it, because humans, once they already know it, they know it, and they can go there and target the very specific bits of code. So I guess it's kind of using the AI at that point rather than at the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, Copilot in particular, I can take an example, does index and does have somewhat of a memory of the code base. Let's be fair, right? A lot of code bases that are still worked on today are legacy code bases, with pitfalls and errors and setup problems and things and whatnot. So I don't really think that LLMs are going to be totally aware of perhaps potential banana skins that are going to be left across the code base where, you shouldn't be calling that function like that. Why? We just don't do it. Yeah. We all have to live with it. We've all been there, right? And LLMs are more geared to fresh project, greenfield. I know what to do, best practices, perhaps. And these are the things that are probably slowing the developers down. They're generating the code, they're clicking run and going, oh, why is everything breaking on the other side of this project? And then they're going to have to reverse all that through, and maybe even use an LLM to get through the debugging step. But that's probably where the drawback is.
Yeah. So I guess a takeaway for us on this one is about setting these tools up correctly then and making them target the way in which they will actually aid our development teams and picking the right sort of tools for the right sort of tasks. As always, Harvey, thank you for your valuable input today, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for another update from Dev.
Right, thanks.